It is shaping up to be a very busy week when it comes to the Russia investigation. We're learning more details about former Trump attorney Michael Cohen's cooperation with investigators as we wait for the sentencing memo for former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn.
Right. President Trump is facing accusations he tampered with a witness. And how do they think that he did that? Through a tweet referencing his former advisor, Roger Stone. CBS News Washington correspondent Paula Reid is in our Washington bureau and joins us now to talk about this. So, Paula, Roger Stone is facing questions about whether or not he communicated with WikiLeaks about stolen emails from Hillary Clinton's campaign. President Trump, as you know, tweeted yesterday praising Stone's, quote, guts. So what is the president referring to? And is the president, legally speaking, is he attempting to interfere with a potential witness, something that George Conway, a very respected lawyer, tweeted the actual civil code that he thinks the president is in violation of?
That's right. There were a lot of lawyers here in Washington yesterday who believed that that tweet was enough to prove that someone was trying to tamper with a witness. If you look at the tweet, there's actually two of them. It does seem to praise Stone for not cooperating in this federal investigation and kind of imply that there might be some sort of reward. And under the federal law, the way you tamper with a witness is try in any way to persuade them not to cooperate in a federal investigation. You have to remember, the special counsel is looking into whether the President Trump or any of his associates have tried in any way to obstruct this investigation. So it's likely that these tweets, and even something last week where they were sort of floating the idea of a possible pardon for Paul Manafort, there are a lot of questions about whether or not the president is communicating to witnesses through the media or other means in an effort to persuade them not to cooperate. But ultimately, though, the final answer will be with the special counsel.
Yeah, and I think when you couple that with the criticism that Michael Cohen has received very publicly from the president for flipping, which the president said should be illegal, the two messages certainly are very suggestive. So you can see why some people would be concerned about what the president has to say. But what I'm really interested in is this sentencing memo for a former National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn. We're going to get a lot of details in there. Prosecutors recently released Michael Cohen's sentencing memo. What details have we learned from Cohen's documents?
What's so interesting about the Cohen sentencing memo is we learned more about his conversations with then-candidate Trump around the time that he was securing the Republican nomination about this Trump Tower Moscow project. Now, last week, Cohen, of course, entered this surprise plea deal with the special counsel where he admitted that he was in talks not just with then-candidate Trump, but also members of his family about this project well into June 2016. Now, this is very different than what he testified before Congress. And in his sentencing memo, his lawyers try to defend the fact that he lied before Congress, saying that he did so out of loyalty. And they are trying to build a case to get leniency for their client because he's going to be sentenced not only for lying to Congress, but also for previous crimes related to his personal business and campaign finance violations. They want him to get leniency because of his cooperation. And that's really the case that they were laying out in their sentencing memo. They're like, look, he's cooperated with the special counsel. He's given you everything you wanted. Please grant him leniency. I don't think it's likely that he's going to get no jail time, but it is highly likely that he will get a substantially lesser sentence than what he would have gotten if he had not been cooperating with the special counsel.
All right, Paula, let's talk Paul Manafort. What can we expect with regards to Mr. Manafort, and what can we learn? What will we be able to glean from where Robert Mueller is in the investigation through the details of Mr. Manafort's sentencing?
Well, this is a much anticipated sentencing memo that is going to come out on Friday because, as you may remember, even though it probably feels like 100 years ago, early last week, the special counsel accused Paul Manafort of lying, of violating his plea deal with the special counsel by not being fully honest and truthful. And they hinted in that document that at a later time they may reveal more details about exactly what it is that he lied about. Now, did he lie about something having to do with the president, or was it something related to a more niche aspect of his cooperation? It's not clear, but Friday could reveal that because in that sentencing memo, it is expected that that would be a great chance for the special counsel to reveal more details about exactly what it was that Paul Manafort lied about. And that is highly anticipated because, to get to your second question, that may give us some clues about where else the special counsel investigation is headed.
You know, whenever there's a ramping up of information, because we hardly get any information from this investigation, we start to wonder, okay, does that mean that they're wrapping things up? Yahoo News News was reporting that, perhaps they're tying up loose ends. Any speculation here at all?
Well, I don't want to question Yahoo's reporting, but I will say that the president's defense attorneys have been pushing the talking point that this is all wrapping up any day now for about 8 or 9 months. The only reason that I'm skeptical of claims that this is all wrapping up soon is that you still have at least 2 other defendants that the special counsel has to contend with. The first one is Jerome Corsi. We know that the special counsel has been engaged in conversations with him about a possible plea deal. He is fighting that. In fact, he is suing the special counsel. So that is going to be very complicated, likely lengthy litigation there. And then you also have the question about Roger Stone. We know the special counsel, sources have confirmed, they've been bringing witnesses related to Roger Stone's personal and business dealings before the grand jury. There is an expectation that he will likely be charged with something, but he hasn't been charged yet. So the idea that you could wrap both of those cases in the next few weeks, along with all these other loose ends on Cohen, Manafort, and Flynn, it just doesn't seem like a realistic timeline. And again, for almost a year, people have been saying, oh, this is going to wrap up any time. This is going to wrap up before the midterms. And you know what? Special Counsel Robert Mueller, he's on his own time. He's about 10,000 steps ahead of us. He knows things we don't. And at this point, we do not know when this will end.
It will be fascinating to keep an eye on the president's Twitter feed, though, this week, Paula. And I think we'll all be doing that. Exactly. Thank you so much, as always.